Hello friends, I welcome you in this channel Saga Tuition Master. So let's start our topic about the last lesson of the book Flamingo. Okay, so let's see. So I will give you the summary about the last lesson. So let's start. The narrator of the story is a young school going boy named Franz. Okay, that morning he was scared as he was late for school. Also, as their teacher M. Hamel has announced the previous day that he would test them on the topic of practicals, and Franz did not know anything about at all. He was more scared of being scolded, right? Franz has another option in his mind to miss school and enjoy the day out in the warm and bright weather. He describes the scenes. There was a bird chirping on the trees, and the noise of the Persian soldier doing the drill behind the sawmill could also be heard. Okay, the scene outside was more attractive than the school, but Franz controlled the temptation and chose to attend school, right? Okay, you can look here, he's going for school. Okay, as Franz walked past the town, he noticed a huge crowd at the notice board covered in news whether the war with the Persian has begun, and 2.5 years ago, and since then all the bad news like losing the war, occupation of La Alsace and Lorraine by the enemy. Therefore, Persia Attraction has communicated to the people through the bulletin board. Okay, Franz kept on walking towards the school. He is walking, right, and thought in his mind that what news could have been put on that board now. Okay, as he walked hurriedly towards the school, the blacksmith, who was also reading the news, and he had come along with his trainee, called out Franz from behind and said that he need not go in such a hurry. So there was a plenty of time for him to reach the school. Okay, that Franz, what he thought, that the blacksmith was making fun of him, as he was already late for school. When Franz reached the garden out of the school, he was out of breath. So he had walked very fast. Okay? And Franz described the unusual sense of the school in the morning. A lot of noises created by the moving of desks, children repeating their lesson, and teachers striking the table with the ruler could be heard. Right? That day was unusual as there was no such sound coming out of the school, and it seemed that the school was closed as it used to be on the Sunday morning. Franz had planned that he would take cover under the competition and reach the class without being noticed, but that did not seem possible. Franz, what he did? Peeped inside his class. He peeped inside his class and saw his classmate seated and Miss M. Hamel, their teacher, walking in the class with a ruler made of iron placed under his arm. Franz heard a beating. Franz was ashamed of being late and feared a scolding as he had to enter the classroom in front of everyone. You can look here. I'm Hamel. Okay. Franz found it strange as M. Hamel did not say anything. He did not say anything, and on the contrary, politely asked him to get to his seat. As the class was about to be begun without him, Franz hurried to his seat. After some time, when he overcome the scares and became comfortable, he noticed that the teacher had worn his best embroidered that day. The teacher normally wore it on occasion like inspection and prize distribution days. Okay, Franz wondered if the day was a normal day. Then, what could be the reason of M. Hamel to wear his special dress? Okay, he was being confusing, right? They all looked sad. All the student was looking sad. Hauser had brought his reader, which was old and torn. He had opened it, kept in his knee, and placed his spectacles on it. Franz was confused and could not figure out what was happening that day. Just then M. Hamel told them that it was their last lesson. You recognize that I'm teaching this lesson, the last lesson, right? The topic is about, the chapter is about last lesson, right? Okay. In France, as the Prussians in the Berlin had ordered that the French language would no longer be taught in the school of Alsace and Lorraine, and that German language be taught instead. Okay. Now it will now no longer the French language will be taught at the school, and now German language will be taught instead of that. Okay. The German teacher would arrive the next day, and as this was their last lesson in French, okay, he wanted them to pay attention. M. Hamel wanted them to pay attention. Franz was shocked to know that he could not learn French anymore. And now he knew that last news that had been put up at the bulletin board of the town. He was thinking, oh, that means that the notice board that he saw, that was about this news. Okay. French regret for not being serious toward the study and for wasting his time in hunting bird eggs and playing in the Saar River, right? Till now, Franz considered his book to be an unwanted burden, but suddenly he started considering them to be his best friend, whom he would never leave. The writer wants to show the change in Franz's attitude towards study after hearing the news that he could not learn French anymore. The news that the teacher M. Hamel was leaving also had a similar impact on him. Franz did not want him to go away. See what he's doing? He did not want M. Hamel to go away. He no longer thought the teacher to be short-tempered and strict. Now Franz knew that M. Hamel was wearing his best dress in honor of this last lesson. He also realized that the village man had come to pay respect and thanks M. Hamel for his service of 40 years in that school. See, M. Hamel is depressed. The village man had come to class. Okay, the village man had come to class as they were also repeating for not have studied well in their childhood. They had come to thanks to the teacher for his 40 years. Okay, of service as a teacher of French. Also, they want to show respect to their country. This one. Respect to their country and were sad as their mother tongue, French, would no longer be taught to them. Teacher called out to Franz. Teacher called. See. Teacher called. Okay. Franz as to it his turn to recite the topic of practicals. Okay. As the last news has impacted Franz, he was eager to study and so he desperate to show his eagerness. Okay, he was so desperate to show his eagerness. He wanted to be able to recite the topic in one go and without any mistake and please his teacher. Okay, his desperation is reflected in his willingness to give away all that he had in the return for reciting the lesson well. As Franz did not know the relation, he got confused and stood quietly. His heart was beating faster, okay, and he was ashamed of himself and did not have the courage to face his teacher. Hamel said to Franz that he would not scold him, as he now had realized his mistake. Every day, Franz told himself that he would study the next day, and now the opportunity to study had ended. He knew nothing. Hamel said that all the people of Alsace were to blame as no one was serious toward learning. He tells the class that the enemies would laugh at them and say that they only so to the Frenchmen as they can never speak nor write their own language. He says that French should not feel guilty as everyone is at fault. Emmanuel said that Franz's parents were not interested in getting him educated. They wanted him to work at the farm or on a mill and earn some money. He said that as a teacher, he was also not interested in teaching them. He would send them to his home to water the plants. Sometimes he would declare a holiday and go for fishing. Right? Emmanuel prized his mother tongue French language as being the most beautiful, clearest and most logical language in the world. He tells the class to guard their language as it is the only way to free oneself from the prison of slavery. If a person knows his mother tongue well, no one can enslave him. Knowing the mother tongue as well as language is a tool to fight domination. Teacher took a lesson in grammar. That day, Franz was surprised that he understood the lesson with ease. He felt that he had even attained, and Hamel had also explained the lesson with a lot of passion. Franz felt that the teacher wanted to give them all lesson he had before leaving. After grammar, they had a lesson in writing. Emmanuel gave the class new notice with Franz beautifully written on them. Okay, Franz felt that there was an air of patriotism in the class. The notebook were like flag of France that were floating all around. The entire class was busy writing, and the only sound that could be heard was that of the pen writing on the paper. Hamel began to speak but could not continue as he was overpowered by his emotion. He took a piece of chalk and wrote the word "Vive la France," meaning "Long live France," on the blackboard as large as he could. Then he stopped writing, bent towards the wall, and without speaking anything, signalized the class to leave as the class was over. If you like my summary that I have taught you, if you like, then please subscribe, and if you did not understand, then please comment in my comment box, and don't forget to press the bell icon behind the subscribe box. Okay, thank you.